So in today's video, I wanted to talk about journaling. Now, journaling for some, perhaps maybe when we were younger, we used to call it writing in diaries and perhaps jotting down things that happened during the day. But I found actually having this consistent practice really builds kind of like a safe zone where you're able to express your feelings and be open with yourself and also reflect on them. And more recently, I found that when I go through hard times, I tend to not only want to just talk more and be more vocal on my problems, but I really like to internalize what happened. And sometimes by doing that, you can learn a lot more about yourself. But on the flip side, you can also think far too much as well. So when we internalize a lot of situations, whether they be good or bad, mainly the bad ones, as humans, we don't seem to always think as the glass being half full. It's always at a lack, and we really go over a lot of bad things that happen during the day or only remember bad things that happen to us. So sometimes simply internalizing it and letting it kind of sit in your head really doesn't serve us. And by journaling it down and giving that time and space for you to actually write it, express it, really helps. And kind of looking back on my own sort of experiences, during the really hard times when I was a teen, I naturally gravitated towards journaling. I suppose in a way during like adolescence, I don't know about you, but for me, my social spacing with people, I didn't really have many close people that I could always speak to. And even if I did, you don't really want to be a burden to those people. And every day there could be something new or even something quite private and perhaps even embarrassing that you didn't want to vocally speak about to anybody. So I found that by writing my thoughts and really just kind of letting everything out onto paper, it not only made me feel better because I was pouring out my emotions and I was able to see them, but sometimes what I found was when you let that stream of thought that you believe is, your conscious being, and you let that out and you write it all down, when sometimes you see it, it can be quite surprising that it's not always like the best thoughts. So for me, I was struggling with a lot of my eating, like self-love, relationships and friends. And when I was just spilling everything out, it was in such a negative and angry tone that when I actually read back on my diary entries, you could just feel the hatred. It was like seething with like pain. And I do remember that after writing them, kind of letting all that angst out, when I did kind of read back soon after I'd written like the paragraph or the page, I would just be really shocked that that was my own internal voice telling me all those things, feeding myself really bad beliefs and lies that I didn't need to be under. And for that reason, I find journaling as like one big thing. It gives you the distance from what you should be feeling and how you should feel and how you want to reflect on it. By saying that, obviously when you just express and talk, you don't get that chance to really have like a distant perspective. We're sometimes so close to the subject matter that it doesn't help us to just be worrying and being concerned with things and just having the mental marathon up there. And dumping it down onto a piece of paper, it just creates just enough space for you to see it. I guess it's being the watcher of your own thoughts. It's you're watching your emotions as you write them, and then because you've written them out, you can see them literally from a visual distance. And I feel like it really helps you digest perhaps what your mind is saying, that sometimes we don't even know what's going on up there unless you kind of get it out. And then you're able to kind of comprehend and self-reflect on it. So really, some of the biggest tips on like journaling, I guess the process of like starting it, is just getting like a notepad, just any notepad or any sort of like diary, and just try to make yourself, even if it's just every day, just once every day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes even, just bullet point out your days and what you've done, whether that, you know, you had a good breakfast, you had a nice coffee in the morning, you know, you had a really nice day at work or a good workout, and you spent time with your friends, you watched a really good show, you managed to start the hobby that you wanted to start on, whatever it might be. Just start jotting it down in bullet points and just do that as the simple and first step to kind of like journaling. If you find even doing that a little bit difficult because you don't particularly like to write and maybe you are more vocal like myself, do a video journal. So you can do it, you know, straight on your phone, or you could do it on your Mac. I suppose you could do it on the iPad if you wanted to, and just start to record and talk about your day and give yourself that space. The big importance of journaling is just allowing yourself the time to reflect. And I think a lot of us, we think so much, and sometimes, like I said, we end up not realizing what we're saying to ourselves, or we begin to worry about things or stress about things that can't really progress anywhere by simply thinking of it. You have to do some sort of action to either resolve it there and then or begin the progress of resolving it. And it's about having that sort of mental space to be able to do that. So whether that's journaling, you know, whether that's just 5 minutes a day just to begin with, pick up the book and just give yourself that time, whether that's video journaling or whether that's just even meditation, anything to really get you to calm down and to really see your thoughts and have some sort of distance. And I believe just having that practice, that notion, you naturally just become more kind to yourself and you become a bit more aware of your surroundings, more of your thoughts, and hopefully by you writing it, similar to what I felt when, you know, I've had like bad experiences in the past that I've wanted to vent and to express, you're able to see it clearer and perhaps you'll make a better decision next time, even if it was a mistake. I found, like I said, when I was in my teens, I tended to write out a lot of bad things and really kind of just have my way with like saying whatever I wanted. Whereas in nowadays, I mainly just kind of collect my memories and write down what's happened. And I'll make sure to always mention a couple of good things that happened, not just bad things. And just keep giving myself that space and time to look back. And if there is anything that niggled at me, it usually comes out in the journal. So there are plenty of times that you kind of feel, do I need to? Nothing's happened today. I've had an all right day. Oh, I won't lean across it. Trust me, when you actually start writing it down and you give yourself the 5 minutes, you'll be surprised by what actually comes out, because you're just allowing your consciousness to come out. And that is, you know, the main thing. It's to give yourself that space. Even when you mentally don't think anything's up there may be something. And from there, you might be able to just nudge it in the right direction. So it's a really good practice to do. And I really hope you take something away from that and maybe just, like I said, start writing something down on the notepad or do some video journaling, whatever it might be. So that's really it for the video. If you do like it, put your thumbs up. And if you wish to comment, you can comment below. And I'll catch you next time.